Hi everyone and welcome to Coffee Chat by Yee's Law Journal. I'm your host Josh, and as always I'm joined by my co-host Alice.
Thanks, Josh. Today's topic is fascinating. We'll be discussing the EU batteries regulation and how it compares to China's EV battery recycling and management rules, focusing on their similarities and differences, and the impact on the EV industry, particularly Chinese companies.
Exactly, Alice. This is a topic worth exploring in detail. While both frameworks aim to promote sustainability in the battery industry, their priorities and specific requirements differ significantly. Today, we'll break these down and discuss how these regulations shape the global competitiveness of Chinese companies.
Absolutely. It's not just a legal compliance issue, it's also about understanding the future direction of the industry. Let's start with the key elements of the EU batteries regulation.
The EU batteries regulation, which came into effect in July 2023, is part of the European Green Deal. It aims to manage batteries throughout their life cycle and introduces several key requirements, such as carbon footprint reporting, minimum recycled material content, and the digital battery passport.
The digital battery passport is particularly innovative. It's a tool for tracking battery data and enhancing supply chain transparency. Starting in 2027, every EV battery sold in the EU must have one.
That's right. It improves traceability and sets the stage for full lifecycle management. But, Alice, what about China's framework for EV battery recycling and management?
China has also been proactive. Back in 2021, the interim measures for the management of recycling and utilization of EV batteries were introduced. This policy framework focuses on recycling and reuse, requiring automakers and battery manufacturers to establish recycling channels and promote both cascade utilization and recycling. Additionally, China has released technical standards, such as the pollution control technical specifications for waste lithium-ion batteries, to ensure environmental and safety compliance during the recycling process.
It sounds like both regions share similar sustainability goals but differ in their approaches. Alice, can you summarize the main differences?
Of course, while both frameworks aim to promote sustainability, the focus is quite different.
The EU batteries regulation emphasizes full life cycle management, requiring companies to report the carbon footprint of their batteries, ensure transparency throughout the supply chain, and implement the digital battery passport. In contrast, China's rules focus more on the recycling and reuse of retired batteries. It includes measures like the producer responsibility extension system and specific standards for cascade and recycling processes. Another key difference is that the EU mandates minimum levels of recycled materials. For example, by 2030, lithium recycling must reach 6%, and cobalt and nickel must each reach 16%. China, however, doesn't yet impose similar mandatory thresholds, does it?
That's correct. China's policies rely more on incentives and market-driven initiatives, encouraging companies to develop battery recycling technologies and promote reuse. However, mandatory standards are still limited.
What do these differences mean for Chinese EV companies?
For companies planning to export to the EU, these regulations present significant challenges. For example, the carbon footprint reporting requirement means companies must closely track and analyze their entire supply chain, from raw material extraction to production and transportation.
And the digital battery passport requires extensive data sharing across the supply chain, which is a high bar for many companies. China's regulations don't yet require this level of digital traceability.
Exactly. However, this also presents opportunities. Chinese companies that can meet the EU's rigorous standards could establish themselves as sustainability leaders in the global market, gaining a competitive edge in both brand reputation and market access.
From a technological perspective, do you think these regulations will push Chinese companies to innovate further?
Absolutely. The EU's stringent recycled material requirements will encourage companies to improve recycling efficiency and develop low-energy processing technologies. Meanwhile, China has strong expertise in cascade utilization, where retired batteries are repurposed for energy storage applications, a model other regions could learn from.
That's a great point. Cascade utilization extends battery lifespans and reduces environmental impact.
Right. But to remain competitive globally, Chinese companies need to go further developing more efficient recycling technologies, enhancing carbon footprint management, and accelerating digital transformation.
Looking ahead, Alice, do you think these two regulatory frameworks will influence each other or eventually converge?
I think that's very likely. As China continues to advance its dual carbon goals, we might see stricter requirements for carbon footprint tracking and even the introduction of digital battery passports. At the same time, the EU could adopt aspects of China's cascade utilization practices to enhance recycling efficiency.
That makes sense. From a broader perspective, these regulations are driving industry standardization and increasing awareness of the importance of sustainability and compliance.
Exactly. While these challenges are significant, they also present opportunities for technological advancement and long-term competitive advantage. Well, that wraps up today's coffee chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into global regulations and their impact on industries worldwide. Until next time, I'm Josh.
And I'm Alice. Stay curious and stay compliant.